Hi, my name is Eileen Gonzalez from Life According to Me. Today let's talk about change, and the reason I want to spend a couple of minutes on this is because I'm continuously getting emails or comments on how change is impacting people's lives in a negative form. And what I find is that they don't see change as something positive. They basically see it as a personal attack. So that's why I want to touch base and basically explain the types of changes that we're seeing. So we have two types of changes which we're going to focus on today. We have mandated, and we also have choice. So the ones that are mandated, it's basically comes from your employer. Your employer can be telling you, look, we're going to change our systems, we're going to change processes that we've been following, and we're going to do so, and it's going to happen by this timeline, and you need to get on board. Now, for somebody who's been working in a company for 20 or 30 years, they hear that, and you're basically saying, you don't know how to do your job, what you're doing is outdated, we don't like it, we're changing. That's what they're listening to, rather than understanding that the companies are looking for better ways. Now, if you look at companies today, a lot of them are basically working with lean manufacturing, where they're basically looking to reduce the types of waste management, right, or waste expenses. So the reason they do that is because they want to allocate their resources the most effective way. They want to be able to not only use their people the right way, use the time the right way, make sure that their space is used the right way, because that's going to save them money. If they can make you or help you work less and do more, that's what they're going to do. But sometimes we're so preoccupied doing everything at the same time that we feel that we're working really hard, but we're really accomplishing less. So that's why it's so important for them to look for ways of improving our day. That has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your ability to perform. It is because they have identified that they have some weakness in the processes, some weakness in certain systems, and they know that by making these changes, they're going to be able to be moving forward towards their next phase, and they're going to be doing it more effectively, much stronger. Then we have the competition. Look, so many times people come in, they're brand new. A lot of times they come out of college, they come in with these bright ideas, they're full of energy. You've been there for 20 or 30 years, you know how to do your job, but these people came in and now you feel like you're being pushed out. It's not that you're really being pushed aside, it's just these people are breathing life into the company, breathing life into the department. Again, if we're looking to do things in a more effective way, we're going to be hungry for new ideas. And if we can actually try them and see if they really work, you know that it's going to affect the entire department. So sometimes that forces you into a change mode, again, not because you want it, but because you feel that you have to do it for survival. Health. Look, we're healthy today. All of a sudden we're told that something is not as good as it should be. It could be our weight. It could be our smoking. It could be we had a little accident with a job and we hurt ourselves. Things that we used to do in a certain way, we can no longer do it the same way. Change happens. It's not that we always look for change. Things just happen. You could be part of a car accident. You weren't the cause, but you were part of that accident, and things change. So we really have to understand when these things happen, we have to be ready. Relationships. It doesn't matter if you're married for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. People change. The way they see life, the way they see, the way they think changes. And when that happens, you start seeing that there's a gap that starts growing. So when that happens, what do? Do you immediately choose to cut ties? Or do you try to find out what can we do so that we can get back together, so that we can reduce that separation? That's where communication comes, right? But we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. Now let's look at choice. This is my favorite. Because with choice, we have self-improvement, we have advancement, and we have self-preservation, which I'll explain to you in a bit. Self-improvement basically is somebody like me, and I know that many of you are in the same boat, who continuously like reading, who like learning new things, are always up for the challenge, are always looking to advance. Why? We don't do it because it benefits us with a corporation. We do it because it benefits us as a person. It's a personal quest. Advancement. That could be in a career. When you're in advancement, you're looking for change because you've been doing your job for a while, or for many, many years, and you are ready for something more. You're ready to take it to the next level, and for you to do so, you seek for change, you seek for opportunity, so that other people will start identifying you as a key person. They will know that you're up for the challenge. They will see you as somebody who can take on extra responsibilities, who can take on a leadership role. So you're seeking that change on purpose because you know that it's going to be what's going to take you from what you've done for years to that new position. Self-preservation. I tie this right back to competition. However, I like to think of it as somebody who's ahead of their game. And the reason for that is because if you're in the self-preservation mode, you're not waiting for your competitor to come in. You know that he will be coming in soon. So you're preparing yourself with the skills. You're constantly looking to advance. You're constantly looking to try new things. People are seeing you as somebody who's not stagnant, somebody who's always trying to develop themselves. Why? Because when that new person comes in and they come in with that fresh new idea and they breathe in life, you're still part of that game because you've been breathing in life. You have fresh ideas. So that's basically a way of us protecting ourselves from being pushed aside. I find it to be very healthy because a person who is in self-preservation, when they see a competitor, rather than looking at them as they're taking from me, they're going to start working very closely because they're going to want to learn from that person too. And even though it's a competition, it's a healthy competition because both sides are going to grow and the department is going to benefit from it. So I love that mentality. I love when people are choosing choice by themselves because when they do, they're inviting change. They're inviting expansion. Mandated, we tend to see it in the wrong light. However, we can also learn to benefit. And I'm going to go over some questions that you should be asking yourself. Now, one of the first things that you should be understanding is that when we are facing change, we need to understand our why. Now, if you're not the person who seeked the change, you still need to understand the why behind it. And that would be your corporation, or that would be your medical, or that could be your spouse. Doesn't matter. Understand your why, because that's going to allow you to understand that it's not really personal. You're going to be able to get clear on what's going on. Then ask yourself the question, can I afford to stay where I am or do the things the way I do them today? Chances are you can't. Because if your employer has already outlined a change, they've already given you a timeline, and they already have a vision of where they're going, they're not going to ask you to volunteer if you want to change or not. They're going to mandate. They're going to tell you this is the change that's going to happen, and you need to start implementing it. So either you change or you're out. The same thing with your medical. You're not going to go into your medical and you're not going to just say to them, look, I know that you told me to do a diet, but I refuse to do the diet. Look, you only have one choice. You either change your eating habits or your health is going to deteriorate. If you're a smoker, if your doctor says you need to stop smoking, you're not going to say to them, I'm not going to stop smoking. Because you can, of course you can. However, your health is going to deteriorate. So the choice is, do I want to live longer or am I okay with leaving now? You also need to ask yourself, what's really stopping me? Why is it that I find it so hard to change? Now, chances are that you feel that you just if it's something that you've been doing for many years, why change it now? I mean, it's not broke, right? However, there's something that's deeper than that. Now, it could be that you're afraid of learning new things. Or it could be that you're afraid of learning that you're not able to learn. And the only way that you're going to find that out is if you're exposed to learning. The truth is, you can learn new things. It's in our mind that we say we can't. Just because you did this for 20, 30 years doesn't mean that you're incapable of learning new things. You've actually proven that you're very good at your job. You've actually proven that you can be consistent. Now it's just basically think out of the box. Take on a new challenge. And you're going to learn that it's not as bad as you thought. But you have to let go of that fear. Because that fear is what's really troubling us. It's what's really keeping us from moving forward. It's not about you. It's not about you not performing correctly. It's about the need of the company. It's about the need of your health. In a relationship, you need to discuss. If you're both going in different directions, you need to be able to address and find exactly what's going on. That's the only way that we are able to move forward. Then understand, what is it that's being asked from me? Chances are that because you focus so much on the word change, that you think that change is going to be this monster. And it's really just a couple of tweaks here and there. It's probably something that you just have to add to the process. Now, I'm not saying that that's the only time, that's the only way it's going to happen. However, sometimes we're so focused on the word change that we miss out exactly on what's being asked about us. And that's where we need to be able to ask questions, to explore the options, to understand, and to take ourselves, our emotions, out of the mix. Because again, when people are looking for change, it's not about you. It's not about me. It's about the direction that we're taking. And that's where we need to either get on board or stay behind. Ask yourself all these questions. Find out exactly what's troubling you. Remember that when you see a little baby, from the moment of conception till death, they've changed throughout their lifetime. Every step of the way, they've been developing, they've been gaining new skills, and they did not do it on purpose. It just happened. The reason it happened is because change is growth. Change is expansion. Change takes us to where we need to be at the time that we need to be there. So we can't control change, but we can control the attitude with which we face change. It's up to you. It's up to me. Let's not see change as the enemy. Let's take it on. Let's be ready to explore. Take care.